Kona mu Uganda wansi w'obukulembeze wa His Excellency General Kaguta Museveni ng'ennaku z'omwezi 15 General 2026 fenna tulonde His Excellency General Kaguta Museveni n'abo bonna abakwate NRM mu bendera ku bifo eby'enjawulo tusobole okuuma ebyo ebifuniddwa wangala NRM wangala General Kaguta Museveni ku lwakatonda n'ensi yange.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. This is Good Morning Uganda, name of the show. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and it's time for The Real. This morning we're discussing peace, protecting your gains through peaceful elections. And we're having this conversation with David Ocheng, who is a political analyst. Now, I understand you have questions and you have opinions. Please do share them on 0709 602592. Digging straight into it. Good morning, Mr. Ocheng.
Good morning, Madam Julie. Thank you so much for having me.
Right, a pleasure having you this morning.
Yeah.
Just give us a brief introduction of who you are and what you do.
David Ocheng is my name, as you've said. I am a political analyst, and I am a lover of President Museveni. I don't need to hide this.
Right.
I love him. As you are saying, we need to discuss on how we are going to protect our gain through peaceful election.
Right.
Is what has brought me this morning.
Right.
So I am from Uganda Youth Initiative Program, a body that has been carrying out civic education in Uganda. We have been moving throughout with my colleagues. Actually, one of them was supposed to be with me here, but he has not managed. That is Yoweri Kwesiga. We have been working hand in hand, moving across the nation, sensitizing citizens about their rights, their roles as voters, as citizens. You know, there's something that we realized. We started in 2023. There's something we realized, that there was a vacuum of information among the voters, that the voters were making a mistake in deciding on who to vote under duress. They were being influenced. So we came in and started carrying out civic education, educating voters on their rights, on their roles, responsibilities as good citizens of Uganda. Right now, we are still going on. There are some other people who are in the field, but I decided to come. Since the election is coming to an end, I decided to come to TV and tell Ugandans of how we should be in position to maintain peace in this coming election. It is very important, because peace is the most important thing we'll need in Uganda.
Right.
The level at which Uganda has reached, We can't afford any kind of politics. The politics of propaganda can no longer work in Uganda. You understand? Yeah, so we need to maintain peace in Uganda.
Right.
This country, we got it here and we shall leave it here.
That's very true.
Thank you.
I love the fact that you talk about civic education.
Yes.
And therein I'm led to ask, when you're having these sensitization workshops
Yes.
in the different parts of Uganda,
Yes.
are you focusing on voter education or civic education in general?
We are focusing on both. We are focusing on voters' education, voters' empowerment, because voters are supposed to be empowered. And we are also focusing on issues concerning peace, because we have been selling the product of peace, unity, socio-economic transformation, which is very important. And that is a key factor. It is actually a key factor for NRM. It is their product for NRM. And that's why we are talking about protecting your gains through peaceful elections. So voters are supposed to know, whether from the opposition side, whether in the ruling party side, they are supposed to know their rights, their responsibilities, and their duties of how to come up with a democratic governance. Because it all starts with the voters. When voters vote wrongful candidates, you have been hearing about in parliament how the debate has been questionable. It all starts with them. That's why we are telling them that voters, you are the ones that make a good governance in this country. The good governance starts with the voter. So we have been educating voters, telling them, please, we need rightful leaders. When you vote rightful leaders, we get good debates in parliament.
Right.
When you get good debates in parliament, good policies are brought up. And when good policies are brought up, you understand, the socio-economic goods from government are eminent, are very eminent.
Right.
Yes.
Let's just come back a bit to the campaigns, and definitely I'll be engaging you on the type of leaders you talk about.
Yes.
Given that we've seen very good leaders on the floor of parliament, both
Yes.
from all parties, both the opposition
Yes.
and the ruling party. But thus far, since September, when campaigns started
Yes.
officially, what do you make of the campaigns this season rather, thus far?
In this season, as I've told you, that we have been carrying out and sensitizing citizens of this country on how democracy is very important, on how they decide the best democracy for this, the governance of this country. So as I can tell you, as you can see right now what is happening, to know that democracy in this country is now at another level. Citizens themselves, you have been hearing, they are taking the concern of taking people who do not meet the requirements to contest as leaders at all levels, either at parliament, either at the council level. You have been hearing, not the candidates themselves amongst themselves, but leaders have been taking their own candidates to electoral commission, that is the Department of Electoral Commission, legal department, and reporting these people, because they have known the importance of representation, because they know if they have poor representation, either in the council, either in parliament, they will not get what they are supposed to get. Because members of parliament, remember, and all these leaders are supposed to represent the views of their people on ground. And this is what has not been happening. You have been seeing in parliament, we have been having mostly politics of objection and politics of, you have been seeing itself. You people have been seeing that people have not been represented well. The media has been doing the work of members of parliament. You have been seeing it yourself. In Uganda, they say, Museveni Jolieyo, Jango Tuyambe. Jango Tuyambe means there is someone, there is a vacuum that someone is not doing this work. And who are these? These are political leaders who are supposed to represent them in parliament, represent their views. So what they decide to do, they come now to media. They come to media, it is now media that does the work of members of parliament. You have been seeing it from different regions, NTV, UBC, you find people, Museveni Jolieyo, Jango Tuyambe, Nabanja Jolieyo, Jango Tuyambe. Now, what are the responsibilities of these members of parliament, of these leaders? That's why we have been educating these people at the grassroots, that you see, if you vote a wrong leader, if you vote a leader who is not rightful, you are not going to get the rightful service.
Right. On that note, please allow me ask you, when you say a wrongful leader, what
Yes.
does it mean?
A wrongful leader, okay, a leader might be right when he's campaigning. Wrongful leaders are leaders who cannot come up with the vision or a problem statement of his own constituency, of his own people. I want to give you a clear example that you have been seeing members of parliament. Someone comes in parliament, 5 years down the road, is busy discussing a personality, is busy discussing someone. You understand? And yet he is forgetting that he was sent here to come and represent the views of people, to come and bring problems of people in parliament. You see, that is the problem that we have right now in parliament. So we told them, the voters themselves, that you guys look here. All this begins with you. It does not begin with the speaker in parliament. The people you send to the speaker are the ones who will make the speaker do the rightful thing. You are, yes, the speaker will do the rightful thing by the audience and the people he has. That is the members of parliament. So we are very much focused. We are very much focused on the quality of the electorate.
In there, one would
yes.
kindly allow me just interject shortly. In there, one would cite a few examples of members of parliament who are on the opposition that have been great parliamentarians and actually discuss problem statements on the floor of parliament. If you look at Honorable Joel Senyonyi, if you look at Honorable Matthias Mpuga, at least you've taken note that they don't discuss personalities on the floor of parliament. So one would ask you, do we just have less of them, or we need to have them from the NRM and we are voting wrong?
Now,
is it what you mean?
Yeah, you know, that is where I was heading to.
Yes, please.
I wanted to put it close, to your attention.
Right.
That the opposition in parliament gives the direction.
Yes.
To parliament. The opposition in parliament is supposed to have the rightful members of parliament who are knowledgeable, because the opposition members in parliament are the ones who take the responsibilities of monitoring programs of parliament. COSASE and PAC, they give them the responsibilities of monitoring government programs. Now, if we do not have the rightful members of parliament who can carry out this responsibility, and this is the reason to why the level of corruption has been escalating. It is because we have been having either incompetency or I can say maybe corruption. Because you know it very well that when the opposition leaders do the rightful job in monitoring government programs, then we should not be having corruption. The escalation of corruption started in 2007 when the multi-party politics came into action, dispensation came into action, after the voting of the referendum in 2005. It is where we started having problems of escalating level of corruption. Because I think either the members of parliament from the opposition side have not done enough to fight corruption. Now, as you have been seeing, you have mentioned names. You have talked about, I can give you a name of Honorable Segona, whom you are hearing has a problem. Those are one of the best people who would be in parliament. But they are saying they are not supposed to come back to parliament. I don't know why, but yet you see that there are kind of people like Mpuga, you are hearing that they're having a problem. Those who have the capacity to represent and speak out and bring out problems and articulate issues that concerns people are the ones that are going to say that they are not capable.
So in other words,
their party.
Okay, yeah.
According to their party, they are saying they are not capable. Now,
so in other words, a good member of parliament, it doesn't matter which party they come from, but as long as they produce problem statements and solutions and lobby solutions.
That is the most important thing. This is what we're telling voters, that here is a problem statement is the most important thing. Because if a member of parliament is not in position to come up with a problem statement, then that member of parliament is waste of time.
Right.
By the way, McHugh, it takes you, we're telling voters, it takes you 5 more years, good years, to correct the mistake that you made. That's why we're telling voters, let them have critical thinking. They should not vote under duress. Nobody should influence them. Whether opposition, whether NRM, let them send the rightful leaders to parliament so that we can have a rightful debate. Yeah, and the problem is, as I end, the opposition has always been blaming President Museveni that he has no will to fight corruption, that he has failed to fight corruption, and yet it is their primary responsibilities under the law, under the constitution of Uganda, that they are supposed to monitor all these programs, that is PAC, and all these ones are under the opposition. So I don't see a reason to why they should keep playing a ping-pong game, saying that President Museveni has failed to fight corruption.
Right, now let's bring the ball back to where it's supposed to be, and that is matters protecting peace and protecting our gains through peaceful elections, which the season is which season we're in. In case you're just joining in, we are looking at protecting your gains through peaceful elections, and we have David Ocheng, who is a political analyst and a leader of Uganda Youth Initiative, a group that does civic and voter education across Uganda. Having this conversation with you alongside us, of course, 0709602592. In a bit, I'm reading some of your opinions that have come through. But how can voters protect their democratic gains without necessarily getting into any form of violence this season?
Now, voters, one thing that I want to tell you is that voters can maintain peace. As I was telling you when I was beginning, that the level at which Uganda has reached, we can't afford the politics of sabotage, the politics of propaganda. What is bringing us problems in Uganda right now is the politics of propaganda. You understand? Right now, what we need is the politics of prosperity. Ugandans need prosperity. They need service, nothing else. Because we already have the peace. You have been hearing a slogan that has been ongoing. Youths have been, there are some youths from the opposition side have been saying Uganda is bleeding. You know, the power of confession is in your tongue. We as Christians, I am a Christian and I am a preacher of the word. I am an evangelist. I love Jesus so much. So we as Christians, we are supposed to overturn this kind of slogans. Uganda is bleeding. Uganda is not bleeding. From the time President Museveni came to power in 1986, I want to give you a small testimony. Me, I started seeing my father. He was a county chief in Kibanda County, Kiriandongo district. It is one of the areas that President Museveni carried out his operations. I want to give you a small testimony. I started seeing my father in 1979. That is after Fronasa and UNLA took over government from Tanzania, from the government of Amin. My father, I didn't see him for some good time. He used to be in the bush. Because whoever was connected to, by that time, UPC, which was they thought was fighting against the government of General Idi Amin, they were all what? They were all enemies to the government. And yet my father was just a government worker. But because we were neighbors to the Amin himself in Kiriandongo, our land is just adjusted to him. This gentleman was looked for door to door, bush to bush. You can imagine. But I have not seen that happen to our family from 1986. I remember when President Museveni came to our home district in 1980. I was there in that campaign. He was campaigning under Uganda Patriotic Movement. He preached about unity, he preached about peace, he preached about democracy and socio-economic transformation of Ugandans. We picked it. And something terrible happened. What happened is that someone was shot, 2 people actually. I think either it was a mistake, I don't know what was it. So I was in that crusade. So when I went back home, I had a blood stain because I was near, I think, I didn't even know how the blood came into my shirt. I was near one of the culprits. So when I went back home, they reported me to my dad that I was attending the campaign of President Museveni. So all during that period of time, if you see the campaign of President Museveni, he has been focusing on peace, unity, and socio-economic transformation, right away from the 80s, even from the 60s.
Right.
Yes.
Very interesting. Now, let me read some of the comments that are coming through, and you'll be speaking into each one of them. The first one is, good morning, UBC. NRM are the custodians of peace, and yet the organs that are responsible for this peace have violated it the most. We have seen on several occasions the army and police police mete out violence on innocent Ugandans for showing their support for one particular candidate. Please, Mr. Ocheng, explain that. This is Charles from Kazo, and he goes ahead to say that, in my opinion, President Museveni and NRM are the most untrustworthy candidates, as they have shown that they can't afford to play on level grounds. What do you have to say?
What I have to say, you know, in politics, there is always propaganda. And in every country, there is law and order. All organs are responsible to keep law and order. Actually, as I tell you right now, I have never seen, since 1986, I have never seen a peaceful election. I mean, a peaceful campaign like this one. This is the most peaceful campaigns I've ever seen in Uganda. I want to give it a comparison. From 1986, have you ever heard that an opposition candidate has been, maybe there has been an attempt to be, for him being, maybe being assassinated? I have never heard about it. I am answering him that it is not true that the security organs is violating the rules of the Electoral Commission. No, actually police is doing their mandate. They are supposed to keep law and order. The army is doing their mandate. But I have not seen the army getting involved in this election. From the very time General Muhoozi became a CDF of UPDF, there has been an increasing discipline in the army, in UPDF.
One would bring you back to memory of March 2025.
Yes.
And that was during the by-election of Kawempe North.
Yes, yes.
That was a scene that was quite extreme, not quite, it was quite extreme. It was very extreme. We saw the army and security operatives get involved, and the media teams being beaten up. There was a lot of violence. So one would bring back that case to just share with you that the army still under Muhoozi has been a bit violent. One would bring it from that perspective. How would you speak into it?
Madam Julie, there is something that I want to explain to you. The opposition, they think being in the opposition side, to be an opposition politician, you must be violent, you must be chaotic, you must be parallel to all government programs, which is not true. Opposition actually is supposed to be an example to the government, to people. They're supposed to be an example. Let me give you an example. As I've been telling you that right now as we talk, people, the youth are moving from the opposition side, telling people that Uganda is bleeding. There is a slogan that in Uganda says that Tambulanga Muyekera. I don't know what is that. And this is the slogan these people are using. People are talking down there. They are really giving people a picture of that after this election, there is going to be violence. So police automatically has to come in to maintain law and order.
Right.
Because the problem is that the opposition is not doing enough to carry out a peaceful campaign. They want to make it violent by creating intimidation amongst people, fear amongst people. For them, they think by creating fear amongst people is the way to make them go through, which is not true.
All right, our time is fast spent. Let me get into more of the views from our viewer out there. Thank you so much for being on the show. Good morning, Uganda. I'm Namaisi Siraji from Mbale. I have my question. The phrase protecting the gains sounds like consolidating to power. And don't you think other leaders can protect their gains? And what things is the government protecting? And don't you think that the government has spent most of its time fighting opposition than working on the issues which can lead to the development, such as job creation, patriotism, and agriculture progress? Because these which had made the youth, this is what had made the youth to join the opposition. That is Siraje from Mbale. And somebody else comes through. This is Cyprian in Namisindwa, who says, I'm happy for the engagement, but kindly remind Mr. Ocheng that Uganda's parliament has a few opposition members who deliberate on motions on the floor. Otherwise, NRM MPs only wait to vote over motions. As we begin to close, what do you have to say?
Okay, let me begin with the Parliament. That you know it very clearly right now. I want to talk about Parliament because it is the most important institution. It is an institution that gives us direction because it's an institution that approves budget. It's an institution that approves loans. They do everything.
Right.
So Parliament has a problem. The problem that Parliament has is that you have been seeing of recently, I don't want to hide this, because we need to talk this so that voters can know what is going on. We have been seeing opposition leaders getting richer and richer, more than even the members of Parliament from the ruling party. We do not know exactly, even when you know it very clearly, that these guys have nothing they are selling, there's nothing or any other business there. This is something very clear. And all this money that they are making, it is in this same government that they are abusing, that it is not doing enough to make Ugandan prosperous. He has been talking about issues to do with violence, and he has been talking about issues to do with NRM members of Parliament. You see, in Parliament, the Constitution puts it very clearly that everyone has his responsibility. You understand? Whether the oppositions are few in Parliament, they are supposed to carry out their responsibility with the due diligence. You understand? Now, we have come to realize that in Parliament, the issue is about either incompetence, because you find someone has been given a position of a commission in Parliament, but he does not even know what to do.
Right.
And the government is paying this money, a lot of money, a lot of allowances. He has a car, but he's not doing anything. And that's where our country is going.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. David Ocheng. We've been having a conversation on protecting your gains through peaceful elections. And the ultimate goal here is the fact that Uganda shall remain. We'll come and go, but Uganda shall remain. So ultimately, let's all exercise our right in a peaceful manner. Go vote. Listen to those campaigns. Enjoy the campaigns and pick out, sieve, as you make sure that whatever you sieve is a final decision for you to place and cast your ballot as to your choice of who you want to be your leader, but do it in a peaceful way. For now, that's the end of our conversation on The Real. Up next is JMU Tourism Express. And of course, we do have business and the agenda and sports. So a lot in store for you. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887 and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, every story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Erinnya lyange nze Muwes Isaac, ssentebe wa NRM Radio Uganda Village. Ntwala omukisa guno okutegeeza bannayuganda mwenna nti His Excellency General Kaguta Museveni, omwagalwa w'abangi era ssaabalwanyi, ali mu Buganda Region okunga bannayuganda okumuwa akalulu mu bungi mu 2026 n'abo bonna abakwadde NRM mu bendera. Ntwala omukisa guno okunga bannayuganda mwenna mu bitundu byaffe okuba mu bungi okwaniza omukulembeze waffe n'okumulaga obuwagizi bwaffe. Ffenna tujje mu bumu, mu mpisa ne mwoyo gwa movement, tulage ensi yonna nti NRM ereese emirembe, obutebenkevu n'enkulaakulana mu Uganda wansi w'obukulembeze bwa His Excellency General Kaguta Museveni. Ng'ennaku z'omwezi 15 January 2026 ffenna tulonde His Excellency General Kaguta Museveni n'abo bonna abakwadde NRM mu bendera ku bifo ebyenjawulo, tusobole okuuma ebyo ebifuniddwa. Wangala NRM, wangala General Kaguta Museveni ku lwa Katonda n'ensi yange.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Okay, so we're inside now, and these are the cells constructed on the level of the truck. So the truck would easily come, parks on one of them, then opens up in the side, so the offloading of the weapons, and each cell with a sliding door. After the 8 months, that's when the purpose changed, and the trucks could no longer enter. The floor was filled with water. You can still see the water line, and it was later electrified. The electric cables are also still visible, running through the walls to come and tap the water. So this is why they could put you in case you fail to speak, and they make you speak. Others pushed inside the cells and locked up in there, so they couldn't escape. These bunkers, they're always built with high concrete and very heavy beams, even resistant on explosion sometimes. So the whole place was electrified. That was the electric switch, and it had lights up here. So at times they could even do their activities in the night. We have some writings, but they're not very clear. We believe that one of the gentlemen who died here wrote them. They're in here. Then in Uganda, they saw Bottons. This say, "Naye abaana bange, Obote have killed me. How about my children?" He could have left them fatherless. Yeah, they're at the extreme end of the worlds. Others, they're not very clear because it's now past almost 50 years when all this happened.
So that one talks about Obote.
Yes.
But then you talked about Idi Amin.
Yes, as I said earlier, this place was used by 2 presidents. Idi Amin used it up 1979, then Obote came back. Obote continued using this same place for the same purpose as revenge to Idi Amin's men. Obote ruled from 1980 to 1985. Yeah, he was also continued using this same place. Yeah.
So those that died in here, are there any remains of bloodsheds probably in the walls? Or?
Blood cannot last up to date, so we don't have any blood here. Okay. Blood, when it somewhere turns to black, then it goes off. These black spots in here, most of them are bats droppings, but it's not blood. The remains, they cannot allow us to have remains here because the Constitution also protects the dead. We cannot use them as a tourist attraction here. They cannot allow us.
Yeah. You talked about the 5 chambers. Were it intentional? Does it have a story for specifically 5?
Yes, there are 5 because this place wasn't built as a torture chamber. It was a bunker, an armory for storage of the weapons. The idea of turning it to a torture chamber just came later. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Up to this side. So there are 5 chambers. Yeah. So you can see how muddy this is. We have even some scratches here on this one.
People trying to
yes, somebody, we believe, just believe that somebody even managed to scratch some of the bullet shots on the walls. One, we have other 3 there, one below here, others covered with the cobweb. Yeah. So you can also see this when you visit the palace here in Mengo. Yeah.
So that one who wrote Obote when
yes.
They were put with nothing. What did they write?
We don't know, like, I don't know whether you watch some movies, you don't know what, you improvise what is there. I cannot tell that this person used this. Yeah. But we don't know, but they are still somehow sticking on the wall.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000. Or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good, warm good morning to those of you who are just joining us. This is Good Morning Uganda, and it is a Wednesday. My name is Joan N. Murungi. Welcome back from Tourism Express that is supported by the Uganda Tourism Board. It is now time for our corporate news here on GMU. And yes, we are gladly backed by Uganda Coffee, and it's in our nature. And yes, it is brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industries and Fisheries. And yes, to kick off with our cooperation framework, the latest is from the Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub that have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. And this is to strengthen agricultural development and improve the livelihoods of the people. Now, the MOU was signed under the Executive Chair of Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub, Hajat Fiona Migade, in the Mufti of Uganda, Sheikh Shaban Ramadan Mobaje. Let's have a look at this partnership.
While speaking at the signing ceremony, Sheikh Mubaje welcomed the partnership, describing it as a blessing to the Muslim community and the nation at large. He noted that the initiative comes at a critical time when many farmers are struggling with low productivity and market challenges.
I thank Farmers Center, the executive chairperson, Madam Fiona Migate, for accepting to partner with Uganda Muslim Supreme Council.
Shops will be able to serve everybody, irrespective of whether you're Muslim or not, but they will be known for having products that are halal, and they'll be known for having products that are genuine and sourced well.
The move encouraged district cards across Uganda to prioritize and support the implementation of the partnership, saying it is expected to play a significant role in national development, particularly in empowering farmers.
Farmers Center and Matuga, they are going to benefit economically. They are going to sell their products at a wider range, because covering the whole country is a bigger blessing. Then Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, through those centers in the districts, those shops, you are going to benefit, because we are going to sign an agreement that whatever profit is realized from the sales of those items, their products, Uganda Muslim Council will be getting 7.5%.
Hajat Fiona Migade explained that the main objective of the MOU is to work closely with the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council structures to support farmers through improved access to agriculture solutions, logistics and markets, hence emphasizing that the partnership is focused on transforming farming into a more profitable and sustainable venture.
This is very important for us, because then we are sure about the quality and the efficacy of our products. And on the other side, for the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, all of our people who are farming, everybody who has been having trouble in the community, not being able to succeed in farming, will have access to these drugs.
Hajat Migade revealed that Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub are collaborating with international researchers to find lasting solutions to these problems, assuring farmers that practical interventions are being worked on to improve yields and resilience, hence encouraging farmers not to lose hope despite the challenges posed by pests and diseases.
Today's engagement alone, we have been told that there's a new weed that has come into the country. These weeds will continue to come on various occasions all of the time. What we do best as Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub is that we do research. And the research, we will be able to send a team of our experts to go and see what the weed is.
District cards from various parts of Uganda who attended the event applauded Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub for the initiative. They urged the organization to fast-track efforts to address pests and diseases, which they said remain a major concern for farmers in their respective districts. The partnership is expected to leverage the Supreme Council's wide grassroots network to reach farmers across the country, positioning agriculture as a key driver of economic growth and community development. Kenneth Tanaba compiled the story.
Interesting. And now moving on to the agriculture initiatives. Now, the State Minister for Higher Education, Dr. J.C. Muyingo, tipped the NRM fraternity in Luwero to avoid practices that disenfranchise election policies. He also emphasized togetherness for the NRM party success in the general elections due January 15th. Now, Dr. Muyingo was campaigning for President Museveni and the NRM in Bamunanika, which coincided with handing over hand hose to the farmers. Let's look at this initiative.
Communities in Bamunanika County in Luwero District held government programs for developing their households. The communities say the PDM, Emyoga, Operation Wealth Creation, UPE and USE programs have improved household incomes and reduced illiteracy in the area.
First of all, thank the government for an initiative of a new government primary school. Now within one parish, we are having 3 of this nature.
ensonga z'ebyobulamu, ensonga z'ebyenjigiriza, n'ensako yaffe mu bakyala okulaba ng'etuuka.
Recently, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries released over 100,000 handholds for distribution to Luweero district farmers.
Ogenda buli omu abeereko kyakola kinagoba obwavu mu ki?
Minister Muyingo distributed the hose to 100 households in Bamnankah sub-county and later to 300 households in Busika Town Council.
Ngenda kubeera mukambo kukulondoola ebireeta ssente mu maka. Ono omwana mubakwasa, ono mulimisa mubakwasa.
Muyingo encouraged the beneficiaries to work against poverty and increase food in their households. He also advised Luweero voters to secure a win for President Museveni and the NRM flag bearers.
NRM government yonna nagiwamu. Njagala kuwa tukitige bas. Amina.
Coming in from the international business desk, now U.S. President Donald Trump has said Venezuela will be turning over up to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S. And this was after a surprise military operation that removed President Nicolas Maduro from power. Now, the oil, according to President Donald Trump, will be sold at its market price. Trump posted on social media, adding that the money would be controlled by himself and used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the U.S. His comments come after he said the U.S. oil industry would be up and running in Venezuela within 18 months, and that he expected huge investments to pour into the country. Now, analysts previously told the BBC it could take tens of billions of dollars and potentially a decade to restore Venezuela's former output. Trump posted on Truth social media on Tuesday and quoted, "I'm pleased to announce that the interim authorities in Venezuela will be turning over between 30 and 50 million barrels of high-quality sanctioned oil to the United States of America." Now, to note, this oil will be sold at its market price, and that money will be controlled by me as President of the United States of America, to ensure it is used to benefit the people of Venezuela and the United States. Now, his comments came a day after Delcy Rodriguez, formerly Venezuela's vice president, was sworn in as its interim president. Maduro, on the other hand, has been brought to the U.S. to face drug trafficking and weapons charges. And of course, we head to the rates of Forex as they stood, by Bank of Uganda on the 6th of January 2026, kicking off with the US dollar that was buying at 3,618.55 and sold at 3,628.55. By midday, the dollar buying rate was 3,615.73. It sold at 3,625.73. Whereas by close of business, the buying rate of the dollar was 3,615.18 and sold at 3,625.18. The Great British Pound, on the other hand, bought in at 4,885.19 and sold at 4,900.15. Whereas the euro bought in at 4,231.92 and sold at 4,243.99. The Kenyan shilling, however, bought at 28.01 and sold at 28.13. And the Tanzanian shilling bought at 1.44 and sold at 1.48. And from Southern Africa, the rand bought at 220.63 and sold at 221.30. And of course, that brings us to the end of our segment in business here on GMU. But do not forget to take Ugandan coffee. Yes, it is our nature. And Good Morning Uganda is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. We shall be bringing you more business insights throughout the week. It is a Wednesday. And good morning once again. Coming up is the agenda with Julie.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
In all these years, we emphasize 2 words, wealth and jobs, and we try to waken our people up to show them where wealth and jobs come from.
The Parish Development Model, PDM, is a bold initiative that is reshaping Uganda's rural economy. By allocating 100 million shillings to each parish annually, PDM empowers households by unlocking opportunities for wealth creation.
This program will be maintained. Each year we send 100 million for the parish. If you get the 1 million, you can buy some goats, you can buy some pigs, you can buy even young cows.
Farmers are transitioning from subsistence farming to commercial agriculture, laying the groundwork for wealth creation and improved livelihoods.
This project started 11 years ago after an inspiration from His Excellency. And that time I was working as a taxi driver. I was doing that Massa business in Soroti, and he was talking about how to improve household income.
With the PDM, you bring back the money after 24 months. But in the 3rd year, you would get another 100 million paid back by those who got first.
The President's message is a mindset changer. Becoming rich does not mean you should have a lot of land, you should have a lot of education, you just need a vision and implement and start from where you are.
So therefore, this PDM is to get all of you out of poverty. That's why we said 100 million per parish per year.
This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. Welcome back from business. It's time for the agenda. Now, this morning, let us look at occupational health and safety. Now, this is a multidisciplinary field focused on protecting workers' health, safety, and welfare. So let's look at what exactly it looks like in Uganda, and that is access to occupational safety and health standards in Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, and I'm having this conversation with Moses Mauku, who is the General Secretary of the National Organization of Trade Unions in Uganda. To be part of the conversation, because we are all workers and this concerns us, we are all employers, we are all employees, so this concerns us. Delve in 0709 602 592. Good morning, Mr. Mauku.
Good morning, Julie.
A pleasure always having you.
Thank you.
All right, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well.
All right. From a trade union perspective, describe the current state of occupational safety and health standards in Uganda.
First and foremost, I wish to take this opportunity to greet Ugandans, especially the workers of this nation.
Right.
I also want to wish Ugandans a very happy New Year and a peaceful general elections that will see Uganda get a new or a renewed president and the rest of the leaders politically.
True story.
Well, on the issue of occupational safety and health, it is important and prudent that we keep reminding ourselves of what it entails and of what significance it is to the companies that employ, to the organizations that employ people, and the persons that are in employment, and as well as government. This is a stakeholder issue, but it's a human and workers' right. Occupational safety and health speaks about the life of an employee. How to control, how to maintain, how to ensure that somebody is healthy and somebody is in an occupation where health concerns are controlled. It's life that makes us work. If you are unhealthy, you can't work. If you are dead, you can't work.
True.
So it's very critical and important to every person engaging in employment to consider issues of health and safety at work. If there is productivity, there must be safety and health in every employment, in every situation. So it is one of the most critical aspects in employment, and it has been actually in 2022.
Right, yeah, 4 years back.
4 years back, the International Labour Organization adopted Convention 155 among the core conventions of the ILO. The critical international standards that are a must to all member states of the ILO. Convention 155 is among them, and that is the convention that provides on all matters pertaining to occupational safety and health. Good and important to note is that Uganda as a country has put in place 2 laws. The protective law, that is the Occupational Safety and Health Act, and the remedial law, which is the the Employee Workers Compensation Act. These 2 laws are sisters and brothers in that one is protective, controlling how we shall maintain and sustain healthy and safe standards at workplace, but also the other remedial law, which is Workers' Compensation Act. It provides for remedies in case an accident occurs, in case a disease occurs. Then what happens? Who has what obligation in that situation? The government has its own obligations and roles. The employer has obligations and roles. The workers' unions have obligations and roles in the law, and the worker, he or herself, also has these obligations. So we try to bring forth this information to the users, to the beneficiaries, so that they know what to do in case of an accident, and they know how to protect themselves, how to protect and prepare their companies or factories or organizations on all matters about safety and health of the employees or every other aspect in the world of work. So that's what we are trying to explain, and I want in the matter of the situation apparently. While we have these laws, very few Ugandans benefit from them.
Indeed.
Very few Ugandans know about these laws,
yes,
and therefore very few of them benefit from them. There are also many employers who don't understand these laws, that they even exist, but they have been allowed permission to operate in the manufacturing industry, and they don't know how these laws operate.
Why do you
they
think
don't even have.
Is still hard? It's still critical.
There are a number of reasons that I can attribute to the low levels of access. One of them is that these laws are supposed to be administered by the ministry responsible for labor. That is the Ministry of Gender, Labor and Social Development. I must say that that ministry still lacks capacity in terms of human resource, because the Ministry of Labor is meant to have been a separate ministry because it handles very many laws. We have, for example, 8 labor laws that are administered by the same ministry. But that same ministry has very many other laws. It takes charge of the people with disabilities, gender issues, women, youth, the elderly people, culture. All these aspects of administration are under the same ministry. That is supposed to administer over 20 million people in terms of employment and labor. And labor is merely a department in that ministry. So you don't expect effective labor administration by merely a department managing the whole of Uganda, over 20 million people. It is next to impossible, but we continue to do a few things and reach out to the few people that they can as a ministry. So that is one of the biggest pitfalls that I see in my own analysis. The level at which the ministry operates is far wanting as compared to the demand. 2 is there is general lack of awareness by the beneficiaries to these laws. If you asked a Ugandan, an ordinary Ugandan in employment, even at the level of a manager, he may not know the labor laws. He may not even know how to describe or define an industrial disease or an industrial accident, but he's employing people. He's managing a workforce of even over 100 people, but he does not comprehend or even know about these laws. We have the issue of human resource departments that are meant to implement some of these laws. Many companies don't deploy human resource managers that are professional. And if they did, one gets a relative and says, you sit in this office as a human resource manager.
And many times it's a one-man army.
And they don't understand what to do about these issues that are obtaining about people's lives, the health and health safety of the persons, but also their company. And because they don't comprehend the benefits or the attributes of having to observe these laws. So in the end, both the company suffers of issues or aspects obtaining from these occupational safety and health, but they don't even understand what to do and how to do certain things. So there is need for heightening awareness raising of these laws, because it is a health person that works. It is a person who is alive that can perform, and productivity is premised on persons' safety and health. And organizations that are not very secure in terms of safety and health sometimes they are not as profitable as they would be.
Elaborate.
Take an
Elaborate.
example. If you are this factory that is manufacturing sugar, and today the mixer grabs an employee, and you know those factories, it may not stop. Even when you are grabbed and the thing eats you, you will become sugar at the end of the day. It won't stop because of that accident. So if you are this factory where they report such accidents, do you think people will enjoy taking your sugar when they know that people die there always? It's not possible. Even if it were me, if I know that factory, the machines ate a human being, I would hesitate to use their products. So it counts on your productivity, it counts on your profitability, it counts on your competitiveness in business. If you are a reckless company that does not matter much or take keen interest about issues to do with occupational safety and health, it affects your profitability by all standards.
Very profound. An opportunity for all of us to learn, unlearn, and relearn. We are looking at access to occupational safety and health standards in Uganda. 0709602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should engage. Ask that question, share your opinion, share your experience. It would be very pertinent and important for us to learn from on there too. This is Good Morning Uganda, and just a reminder that the show is sponsored by the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, Animal Industry, pardon me, and Fisheries. And on that note, it's why we get to enjoy Ugandan coffee on set. As you can see, Uganda coffee, which is what you should consume. Now, getting back into this conversation, Mr. Mauku, which sectors do you think are greatest, mostly affected by occupational safety and health risks, and why in Uganda?
In practice, apparently, let me say internationally, it is known that most of the the accidents arise from manufacturing industries. But the time I have associated with different organizations, because I administer a union that is both private and also public service partly.
Right.
Our statistics today show that we record more industries in the tourism sector. Because most of the things that we see and happen in the environment, for example, in the wildlife environment, is hazardous. Almost 99% of the whole environment is hazardous. So like for our case, we record the highest number of accidents from Uganda Wildlife Authority.
Do we have statistics, numbers to it on record?
Apparently, I cannot indicate specific numbers,
right,
but we recorded the highest number of accidents. If I may elaborate a bit, we have various hazards that cause risk to human beings in employment. We have hazards that can cause death to human beings, even where we are in this studio. There are hazards that can cause accidents to us as we speak.
Yes.
If the ceiling is not well maintained, it can come down and it collides with us.
Or the light.
The light itself, if it is too much,
yeah,
for a long time and you're in this studio and the lights that are being used are beyond what your eye should apply, then it can cause impairment on your eyes. So there are so many hazards, and these hazards are categorized in different categories. We have physical hazards, those that we see. And among the physical, you have things like automobiles. Even when you are coming here, you use the car. A car can cause an accident, can cause injury, can cause death. And it's part of the industrial accidents. You have things to do with fire, flora, fauna, machines, noise, vibrations, lighting, electricals, heat and or cold, nuisance, dust. There are so many things, but those are things that you can see by your human eye. Those are categorized as physical hazards that can cause injury or threat to a person in employment, and if not controlled, then they become a problem to all of us in that setting of employment. And we have chemical hazards, and there are several examples of chemical hazards that may include, but not limited to, things like liquids, gases, dust, fumes, and vapors that are dangerous to our humanity. But we also have ergonomics. That's poor setting. If the floor is slippery, the sitting posture is not good, the design of your office, the design of your workplace. Right. If you're going to work in the same position, not turning, maybe you're a machine operator and they don't give you time to rest. You are standing on this machine and holding certain things for a long time. So those are some of the things that are ergonomics, and we also have things to do with radiation as hazards. People working in X-ray rooms, those radiation things. You know, one time I took my mother to Mlago for an X-ray. Right. Then they were chasing me to go away. Then they put there some timber that they are protecting themselves. So you wonder the person they are subjecting that thing to. How much they are. And how many times. Yes. Then the doctor was telling me, you don't have to take more than 5 X-rays in a year, because each X-ray exercise reduces a bit of your life. They know those dynamics. But for them, they are working there. Every day. Every time. They are administering X-rays to over 100 people in a day. So you can imagine what could happen with such people. So we also have other things like psychological hazards. You have issues with your husband or your supervisor, even at home. All right. When your husband beats you up and you have a swollen eye, you have to feature here for a show in the morning. What do you explain? Right. Why is the eye swollen? So you need to forge reasons for us to know that it is okay, but when it is domestic violence at home, but it is affecting your employment. Certain times you can choose to say, I cannot feature on TV when I have a swollen eye, or when my cheek has been, or a bruised what, you get. So even things that happen outside employment, but they can affect performance of an employee. I also categorized under these things. It could be things to do with stress, gender-based violence, either outside work or at workplace. Right. Those things, sexual harassment and other things. And we also have biological. So all these are hazards that can cause harm, injury, death, or threat. Right. To people in employment. And it is important that people get to understand these things. And unless you are in the know about what it is, you cannot control what you don't know. So that is why I was telling you that accessibility is being affected more by people who are concerned, beneficiaries, that is employers and employees, not knowing about the aspects of occupational safety and health. We have quite a number of comments coming through on the show. Thank you so much for watching and being part of the conversation. Good morning, UBC. At my place of work, if at all you fall sick and you are not able to turn up for work, your payments are meant to be deducted for the number of days you didn't operate. So I wanted to know, do the employees' rights vary by where and what kind of job? The employees' rights may vary, but what is most important is what does the law speak about a particular situation. In his case or her case, where she or he is being sick and she's being punished because of being sick, it also depends on how you reported your sickness. There are people who get sick and keep quiet with their sickness. They only show up at employment, at the workplace and say, I have been sick. But you did not report prior. There are two things that we need to put into consideration. Does this organization have a collective bargaining agreement that determine these conditions? If it doesn't, does it have a human resource policy that prescribe the terms and conditions of employment? If they don't have, then what yardsticks do they use to prefer charges or sanctions on workers who have either been absent? Because the law, the Employment Act, provides that no employee shall be sanctioned or shall be punished for absence which is arising out of sickness. If you have been sick, you are not meant to be punished. But if you are sick, you are meant to report sickness in time.
And in
not
his case,
to get sick.
And you keep quiet.
You keep quiet and only come to
And in his
report.
case, it looks like the policy at their place of work, that the expenses are deducted off of your salary.
That is an illegal deduction on one's, as long as the sickness has been reported. And as long as it finds no policy in place, and if the policy falls short of what the law provides, then it remains an illegal practice.
Please ask the Secretary who then has the mandate to create awareness on occupational safety and health standards in this country, and why has it been an ignored concern, and yet Ugandans are victims of such. This is Richard Mukalu.
For Richard, I want to just give information still, because that remains our duty. The persons that are meant to create awareness, number one is government. Government puts in place laws, and government is supposed to popularize every piece of law that is enacted by Parliament. It remains the duty of government, especially the responsible ministry, to popularize that law. What they do is these laws are printed in Entebbe, UPPC, and they are sold to beneficiaries at Kimathi Haven. They have a shop. So if you want laws of Uganda, you go to Entebbe or you go to Kimathi Haven and look for UPPC shop.
But how many
people know?
Yes.
That is the issue. But we are informing them. I'm informing them.
Right.
The other person who is responsible to raise awareness on these laws are the user employers. The employers in law, they have an obligation to raise awareness of their employees on the labor laws and other relevant laws. The other party is the workers' unions. We also have an obligation in law to raise awareness and popularize the laws. And that is what I'm doing.
When we come back to employers playing their role, how many employees, how many of us actually read the HR policy?
And if you're not reading the HR policy, how do you operate? And if you're not reading your HR policy, how will you get interested in reading the laws? These things are very important and prudent for you to get this information, so you stay smart in employment.
Good morning, Uganda. I'm greatly impressed by the General Secretary's versatile understanding of the labor laws in Uganda. He is also right about the ignorance of both employees and employers about their terms of reference. HR departments and practitioners in Uganda are simply agents of extortion and fraud. This is Andrew from Kisoro. Good morning, UBC. I'm Sadat from Namasuba in Entebbe Road. Thank you for the show. It's my first time to watch this program. Thank you for joining and watching us. You're welcome. Every day, Monday to Friday, we're on 6:30 to 9 a.m. Now, my question is, where does the law act when a worker gets cut by a machine in a factory, and at the end of his or her, he or she is taken to a hospital for the first day, and at the end of the factory management, and at the end of the day, maybe the end of the process, the factory management doesn't take care of the employee. After some months, he or she comes back when he or she is replaced. This is normally done by Indians and Chinese in Uganda.
Well, those are very common phenomenon in employment in Uganda. That is attributed to lack of information about the existing laws, and also in some cases, employers deliberately choose, one, not to observe these laws. The Workers' Compensation Act requires that every employer is bound to insure his or her employees with an insurance company for life. So when an employee gets an accident, it's not necessarily the employer who is going to pay compensation. It's not necessarily the employer who is going to meet the cost of treatment. The employer's obligation is to insure myself for life. And when I get an accident or an injury, I should be taken to hospital and be treated at the expense of my employer until I heal or I die.
Does this apply to part-time or full-time? Because some organizations now...
Let me explain.
...deal with it that way, where full-time gets insurance cover
when
and
it
part-time
comes
does
when
not.
it comes to issues of accidents, there is no full or part-time. It's somebody in employment. Even when this person is a casual, who you have called to merely offload goods in your factory for 2 hours, if he meets an accident there, it becomes your responsibility as the employer. It's not about the type of employment this person has been engaged in. The law recognizes 3 forms of employment. You can be employed as a permanent employee, you can be employed as a contract employee, you can be employed as a casual employee. You get? And in all forms, you remain an employee with that person, even for 2 hours. As long and then the same law, the Employment Act, also provides that contracts may be either written or oral. In the law.
If it's oral, where's the evidence?
The evidence is when, if I sign in the book, at the entrance, at the gate, if I sign in this book, reporting to work, even where I don't sign, but if a neighbor to the factory, if you read that law, even a person in the neighborhood of the factory can attest to the fact that I always see this man enter there. I've been seeing. That is how they described oral. Because many people were hiding behind, I don't have a contract. So when these laws were changing in 2006, we made sure that we recognized the issue of oral. Because we have those kinds of employers who always want to hide behind that person, I don't know him or I don't know her. If she thinks he has been my employee, let her give you a contract. So the law does not only speak about written contracts.
Very profound.
So I was still explaining to the other person.
Yes.
Is it sort of Richard?
Yes.
Who was talking about responsibility. When you get sick,
when you get an
injury, in any form, it may not be necessarily a cut, it can be a fracture, it can be something. It's the responsibility of the employer to treat you until you heal or die. But the employer will get back the money he has used to treat you from the insurance company when time for compensation comes.
Yes.
All the money he has spent on your treatment is supposed to be paid back to him by the insurance company that covers you for life. And after you have healed of the accident or the injury, then a professional qualified medical doctor or medical practitioner is supposed to assess you so that they establish the degree of incapacitation the accident has caused you. That will then be compensated.
And it's rather interesting now that you say that insurance covers also come in categories where they, you receive your insurance, but you pay half. The company covers half, and the rest of it is by you. Is that still legal?
No, not at all.
Because in many places of employment, for example, if it's a tooth issue, it will cover maybe up to a particular cost.
No, that is not a sickness.
Yes, sickness.
And
yes.
the policy for sickness is different.
It's different. Okay.
But if maybe if you are saying you got an accident and you lost a tooth.
Okay. Okay.
But if it's sickness, that you have a sick tooth, a teeth, that is not.
Then the negotiation terms are different.
The policy may be different.
Yes. Because like you can even say from maternity leaves, you pay
so those
half
are different things.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
More of the comments coming through. I'm still Namaisi Siraje from Mbale. According to the Occupational Safety and Health Amendment Act of 2025, it was designed to strengthen, enforce and empower inspectors requiring workers' health monitoring systems, mandatory training for machinery operators, and aligning Uganda with international standards. But back to the industry park in Mbale, back at the industrial park in Mbale, a lot of accidents occur and happen to workers, but all of the burden turns back to them, and the industrialists do less on that. Even you end up being paid less as a worker. I think, Mr. Maoku, you've talked about this. You've addressed this. Good morning, Uganda. This is Wonyaka James from Sironko. I personally would like to ask the presenter, that's me, that he has said, I don't know if it's to me or to Mr. Maoku,
the question,
but ideally it should be to Mr. Maoku. You say that Mr. Maoku has said that the high percentages of hazards in tourism, there are high percentages of hazards in tourism, and I would like to inform him that the Kidepo National Game Park is not fenced, and in the year we receive a maximum of 20 patients who have been attacked by these wild animals, and they are also destroying people's crops. So how are you going to help us on that matter?
Probably he needs to check. Currently, I think this last year, when the president visited Kidepo, I mean Karenga, I have information because it's one of the places, I mean the organizations that I work with. I'm privy to information that actually the president, during his campaigns, he launched the new fence that they have started constructing. That is going to stop the animals from entering into the community land to destroy there, and also to try and curb on the accidents to people who are not workers with Uganda Wildlife Authority. Right. But like I said, it is true. It is telling you that Kidepo alone, they receive about 20 cases. And those cases are to both employees and the people in the community. So Uganda Wildlife Authority has started a project on fencing off most of the parts. You know, those electric fences are dear, but they have no option, they have to do it. So the work has started, and it was launched by the president, I think in November. Right, 2025. Yes. Right.
Thank you for organizing this Health and Safety Act workshop. Kindly consider sharing or highlighting how participants can access Uganda's occupational safety and health standards, including the OSH Act 2006, its amendments and official guidelines from the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development. This would greatly enhance awareness and compliance among employers and workers. This is Vincent Makwali from Mbale City.
Mbale is very active on this program, Eastern region. I want to concur with his sentiments. This information, like I said, is meant to be secured, but these laws have just been rebaptized. You know, we have this habit of baptizing laws. So these days, all laws have from, I think, 1st July 2024, all laws were changed. The citation of all laws changed to adopt the word cap. So the new laws have been very difficult to access, very difficult. You could only access them online at a fee. I don't know whether they have now printed and selling, but we need to cross-check. Better to find out if you are in Kampala, go to Kimath Avenue, the bookshop for UPPC, and find out. I think they are there. But for a long time, we have only been accessing these laws digitally on the website for Law Reform Commission. And you pay per day 5,000 and I think a month some amount of money.
All right.
But those laws can be accessed, and for my union where I sit, you can find this information.
Very well.
One correction I need to make.
Yes, please.
I was introduced as the Secretary General. I am the Treasurer General of the National Organization of Trade Unions.
Oh, pardon me on that. Indeed, well-deserved.
But also General
correction.
Secretary for Uganda Hotels, Food, Tourism, Supermarkets and Allied Workers Union.
Right.
Let me not be misquoted.
Indeed, indeed. I do agree with you, and I do apologize for that mishap. This conversation definitely has to start rolling its carpet out. Been an amazing one, but let me just sift through a couple of your comments, and of course we'll begin to close it. Good morning, Uganda. This is Odaro Vincent. Thank you to the guest in the house. When are you monitoring these places of work? And where you find that the place of work is not safe and there are no health personnel or even first aid, what measures do you take in such a place?
Our duty is we attend to an alarm. One is we try to offer this information through forums like this, through opportunities when we get to radio stations, through meetings and workshops, trainings. I have also written books about occupational safety and health. So you can access this information, but we only attend to people who have sounded an alarm. I have a problem here. Or these branches of ours, because the branches for unions have occupational safety and health committees that monitor what happens in every workplace. So they keep reporting. But where we don't have a union and we get information, then we collaborate with the ministry responsible for labor so that these matters can be addressed by that particular organization.
All right. One final comment. Hi, I'm Ukasha Moase from Bugiri. Thank you for the program. Thank you, Ukasha, for being on. As we begin to roll this out, Mr. Mauku, how do you think the OSH standards should be better tailored for vulnerable groups? That is women, youth, people with disabilities. Please, how do you think they should be better tailored for peoples in this category?
What is most important is awareness creation. Because we shall talk about occupational safety and health. As long as people are not aware, it becomes and remains a nightmare to them. So first and foremost is we have to design programs specifically to reach out on these vulnerable groups, to give them this information, and all the parties. We work under what we call tripartite partnership. Tripartite partnership involves government, employers, organizations, and workers' organizations. So most of these things are meant to be implemented by the three parties. And the three parties are present at every workplace 24/7. There is always an employer through representation. There is government through representation. There is a workers. There should be a workers' organization. That is what the industrial relations cycle require. But many organizations do not recognize workers' organizations. So there are many things that are done haphazardly. There are certain things that are still missing when it comes to the principles of social dialogue. If you are to do it, you need to do it by the tripartite. It can also be permissible when you do it by bipartite, if an employer and the workers' organization meet and discuss issues. So for the special interest groups, like any other groups, the starting point is information. If they have information, they can then demand for what their rights are in respect to occupational safety and health. The effects and implications to such groups are even deeper because somebody is already impaired or disabled and then you get into an accident. So double jeopardy.
Yeah.
So it is important that we take keen interest in these special interest groups, but start by providing information so that they know how to protect themselves against the hazards. It all starts with how you protect yourself and how you are protected against the hazards.
Right.
You see, even that is what the other person is saying. Even in the game parks, there are marks. You are advised not to drive at a certain speed.
Right.
You are not advised to walk. But some people walk because they claim we are used to these animals.
Indeed. It starts
and in the end,
with you.
The animal kills you.
Yes.
Or injures you. And the other thing that we had not discussed is the industrial disease. Some accidents actually turn out into diseases.
Right.
And the two are different.
And a comment here says, please come back again, which I look forward to. You coming back on this show to educate
Probably we
Ugandans.
can and speak about compensation.
Definitely
because we have
so.
been talking about...
Definitely so. Definitely so.
But compensation we did not discuss. And
Time
it is one of the most interesting.
Time is
because
such an
people
enemy.
get problems and they don't know what to compensate, how to get compensation.
Right.
Yep.
Looking forward to having you back, Mr. Mauku. Thank you so much for giving us your time this morning. That's it for the agenda, and thank you so much for viewing the show and being on and participating. Up next is Ruben with the sports. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now.